their environmental plan. They don't have an environmental plan. After 8 years of raising taxes on consumers, they still can't hit their targets. And they seem to suggest that if Canadians were just forced to pay more for gas, groceries, and heat, that forest fires would stop.
Joe Resnell with the front line with Joe and Joe. Once again, let us go into the breach. Pierre Poilievre addresses the price of gas, heat, and groceries. Play the clip.
What is nowhere is their environmental plan. They don't have an environmental plan. After 8 years of raising taxes on consumers, they still can't hit their targets. And they seem to suggest that if Canadians were just forced to pay more for gas, groceries, and heat, that forest fires would stop. Mr. Speaker, that is ridiculous. All that has happened is a 40-year high in food price inflation. 1 in 5 Canadians skipping meals because they can't afford food. 1.5 million going to food banks. Now, Mr. Speaker, they want a 61 cent a litre carbon tax. Well, they axe the tax so Canadians can afford to eat.
So, Mr. Speaker, the Conservative Party of Canada say that if they were in power, they would work through technology to reduce pollution. They had 10 years to do that when they were in power. My friend and colleague, the Minister of Innovation, Science and Economic Development, does more for clean technologies on an average day before his first coffee, Mr. Speaker, than they did in 10 years.
What we did in 10 years is reduce emissions while the economy grew, which proves the following quote. I take great exception to the federal minister always forcing this into a dichotomous issue. Either you believe in exactly what we say or you don't believe in climate change. That's completely illogical. It's completely false dichotomy. It's a false dilemma, and it's as insulting as it is simplistic. Who said that? The Liberal Premier of Newfoundland. He says the carbon tax will bring inflationary pressures to his people. Why won't they listen to the Liberal Premier and axe the tax?
People, let's read between the lines. This is done deliberately. Trudeau and his government is forcing you to look away from fossil fuels by strangling you economically. He knows what he's doing. That's why he says, I'll give you a rebate, which will lead to ultimately the universal income. He is forcing you by strangling you to stay away from fossil fuels. He knows what he's doing. He's deliberately causing you to suffer because the ideology is more important than you. Pierre Poilievre, while he addresses this, should be a little bit more blunt. He isn't being as blunt as he should be. I'm being blunt. I was feeling a little nostalgic. I want to show you this picture. Here we have Pierre Trudeau walking on the tarmac with Fidel Castro. Pierre is sporting the 5-head. Justin did not inherit the 5-head from Pierre. He did inherit his bad policies, though. History has repeated itself, and Canada has elected 2 Trudeaus. 2! Goodness gracious, people. You didn't get beaten enough the first time. You had to get beat up some more. Don't do it again. Trudeau has a son. Learn from your mistake. Please. The son will have the 5-head, and he'll be even worse than the first 2. Canada's largest casino opens to the public. It's adjacent to a racetrack in Toronto. It costs $1 billion to construct. So you don't have any money to buy food, but they open up a casino so you could lose whatever you have. And if you don't lose it there, you can go to the track. Just don't drink any wood alcohol and go blind while you're at it. Justin Trudeau's telling the middle class he's creating good jobs for you. He sees the future, and he's directing the nation towards it. What a bunch of manure. Play the clip.
This is the story of Canada, a country that is welcoming, a country that invests in people, a country that not only sees the future, but seizes it, a country where everyone has a real and fair chance at success, a country that is rooted in community. Throughout our history, Canadian political leadership has never lost sight of that. And today, that's more important than ever. We need to meet the challenges of today with strength and optimism. We need to be fiscally responsible, yes, but at the same time, we need to be unrelentingly ambitious to seize every opportunity we can for our workers and our economy. You know, Brian, there seem to be two kinds of politicians today. Those who want to burn things down, and those, more like you were, constantly want to build things up.
I'll be honest with you. When I listen to this dude and what it's like, do you remember the movie Jaws when Quinn goes into the town meeting when the shark's like eating people on the beach and they're losing revenue and everyone's talking and he takes his nails and he just scratches the blackboard? That's what it's like when I listen to him. And I do it for you, Canada. Know why? Because I love you. Former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney joins Justin Trudeau at the Atlantic Economic Forum. He says to the crowd that history will remember Justin Trudeau well. What? He also says that he's delivered on the big ticket items. I don't know what he's talking about, but okay, whatever, Brian. Couple points. Clearly, Mulroney is bombed. Point 2. I believe this Atlantic Economic Forum was sponsored by the law firm of Robham, Cheatham, and Steelham, and I believe both Mulroney and Trudeau sit on that board. And point 3, these guys in this picture look like they're about to kiss. Jagmeet says CEOs are making 243 times more than the average worker. When you make less, they make more, and I'm going to put an end to that. How, Jagmeet? How? This is the same liberal line I hear in America. Ultimately, the issues, the economic issues in Canada have been caused because, one, the liberals printed money and your dollar is worthless, creating inflation. 2, you are trying to meet the sustainable goals, the sustainable energy goals by 2030, 2035, whatever you basically target that particular unreachable goal at the cost of people. You're taxing them to death. You're forcing them away from fossil fuels, and the price of everything is going up. That's why people are making nothing. That's why their dollar is going nowhere. Now, granted, are CEOs and companies maybe taking advantage of that? Probably. But you caused the problem. People have to see through the fog. See through the fog. He's trying to divide the country so Trudeau stays in power. They're working together. He's there to take votes away from Pierre Poilievre. And this is the same line he throws out time and time again. It's like he's banging a drum, and too many people buy it. Even if he shaves off 7% of Pierre Poilievre's support, hoping Trudeau stays in power and he gets the perks because he's in Trudeau's back pocket. Believe it. Exclusive interview with Maxime Bernier after conceding his election defeat to his Conservative Party opponent. Play the clip.
You're not going to be able to fight in the House of Commons, but are you going to continue fighting in the streets? You have a large social media presence. You are a very influential person, more influential than some of those who are inside the House of Commons. What are the ideas that you are going to continue fighting for?
We're going to fight for the same ideas. We won't do any compromise with our ideas. I believe that our ideas and our vision for this country is gaining traction more and more. You know, I had about 20% of the vote right now. I'm very happy with that. We're going to do more at the next general election, and I'll be here in that riding to do that fight. I will challenge, that radical trans ideology. They're saying to our kids that, a girl can be a boy and a boy can be a girl. It's crazy, actually. So let's fight that. You can do what you want with your body when you're 18 years old, but don't mess with our kids. And same thing for the abortion debate. We must stop to kill the unborn, and I will always speak against that. And at the same time also, the climate hysteria. The mainstream media, they're telling us that, there's a climate emergency. No, there's not. And we will withdraw from the Paris Accord. So we are very different. We are the only real conservative populist party in this country. And our time will come step by step. So that's why, we grow, and I'm very happy with the result.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Merci.
Couple points. We're going to fight for the same ideas. We won't do any compromises. That's what you want to hear out of a leader. That's what you want to hear out of a politician. Honestly, Canada, I didn't think Maxime was going to win, to be truthful with you, but I do think Canada missed an opportunity. He had a really good platform. Sadly, I don't think Canadians are ready for it. Know why? Because Canada needs an exorcism. The Toronto Sun reports, that's a generous term, but I digress, that Brian Mulroney states that Trudeau will be remembered for his leadership and not the trash and rumors. Mulroney, what are you smoking? I hear there's some really good blonde hash in Ontario. I think Mulroney's partaking. I came across this post. I wanted to show it to you all. It says a vote for Maxime Bernier is a vote for Justin Trudeau. When will people understand? Sadly, there's some logic to that. Maxime does divide the vote and ultimately could help Justin Trudeau. Many people have said that in the comments. I particularly like Maxime Bernier, but sadly, Canada needs an exorcism, and they're not going to vote for him, at least not enough people. Maxime is not perfect. No one is, and you're not going to vote your way out of this hole, but he does represent the people more so than the rest of the uniparty candidates. Politics is not going to solve your problems, nor is politics going to solve America's problems. The battle is spiritual, believe it or not. People laugh when you say that. It's about finding God, because when you do, everything falls into place. God, family, country. I'm telling you, the battle is spiritual. If people redirected their life towards God, Canada was at one time was a Catholic country. Now it's completely devoid of any semblance of God. It's just a fringe group of people. And that is why you have Justin Trudeau, and that is why that statement, in many respects, which I just said, is correct regarding Maxime Bernier. Canada's not ready for Maxime Bernier. Not that he's the savior. He's the best you got. And right now, voting for him will hurt the country, because ultimately it is going to help Justin Trudeau. I want to say that, even though I do push for votes for Maxime, because I like the guy. He just wears ugly, ugly shirts. I think that's a thing in Canada. I see too many people with these crazy ass shirts. What's the deal? And I'm going to do this right now. Can you feel the love? Play the clip.
Unfortunately, for safety reasons, this event will no longer be taking place here today. Thank you all so much for your support, for everything you're doing. Our top priority is always everybody's safety. So please, safely make your way home. Thank you very much.
They love you, Justin, even at 5:40 a.m. in New Jersey. You feel the love. Better keep it down. My whole family might get up. Justin Trudeau smokes a cigar at his desk. Look how he holds a cigar like this. I'll get my pen. He's like this. You don't smoke a cigar like this, Justin. Bad optics, for crying out loud. If you're going to do something for the photo, at least do it right. You look like a dork. Poll states that 59% of Canadians disapprove of Justin Trudeau. Play the clip. 36%, according to this poll, approve of the Prime Minister. Canada needs an exorcism. You're not voting yourself out of this one. Everyone in this clip is completely crazy. Check out this confrontation on the street.
Any more tyrannical legislation you're gonna be part of passing there, Omar?
High heels today.
Perhaps. Any more Canadians are gonna interfere with living their normal, happy lives? Dirtbag.
Perhaps, Omar Al-Jabbar, you could talk to this Afghan interpreter whose family is facing imminent death. This man here, his family will be killed in Afghanistan.
Put his life on the line for Canadians.
This is
the suffering, the pain, the crimes all around you. How is it that you can ignore this?
And his
Who
family
taught
is
you
in
the
danger. He
doctrine
has
of
4 brothers and 2
indifference?
sisters.
This man served with
Literally
it.
refugees in Pakistan.
And now you're doing this your bloody fingerprints.
Put yourself and his family on the line for us.
You are culpable. It is irrational. It is immoral. We've got to stop the war machine. Who do you think you are? Your lies, your corruption. It is killing. It is like the wake of destruction. Death, despair, desolation all across our country because of your terrible, obscene lies. The lies and corruption that keep us in perpetual war. War and fear and ignorance and poverty because of your lies.
As he ignores a veteran, and he ignores the interpreter sitting on the street.
I'm telling you, man, I cover this story. I cover many stories. You people, I've gone off the deep end. It's completely bonkers in Canada. I swear. I don't know what else to say. What's next? We'll see tomorrow. Do you remember this one, Canada? Justin Trudeau trying to use a hammer and a nail. Play the clip. Justin, it's a bad photo op, honestly. And you got a hard hat on. Why do you have a hard hat on when you're hammering a nail? Maybe you do need the hard hat. Or better yet, maybe the people around you need the hard hat. By the looks of you using that hammer. It's a sad sight. Justin Trudeau, can you feel the love? Play the clip.
Justin, how do you like your fan club now, you fucking goof? You fucking piece of goddamn shit! You! Fuck you! We are never, ever telling down! Ever! I ain't getting vaccinated, you fucking idiot! Forget that shit, you fucking...
You can take my jab up your ass!
Ever! You fucking goof! Shame on you!
Take my jab in your ass! Every one of them, every booster, they're all yours, Justin! Christians!
We're your fan club, buddy! Yeah! We're your fan club! You fucking loser! We're communism!
My mother was murdered!
I hope you're starting to get scared, buddy! I really do! Because you're a fucking goof!
Like I predicted, buses a decoy.
Justin, they love you, babe. They're dropping F-bombs. You bring the best out of people. I'll be honest with you. You should write for Hallmark. You just make people, like, well up with emotion. They love you. It shows.
Hey Canada, show the country that you stand for freedom with one of these hats from our store. Your purchase supports this channel. Check out the link in the description and order yours now.